Welcome to the Progtalks by the Progspace. Welcome to the Progtalks, an interview series by the Progspace where we will be talking to musicians in all corners of the progressive music scene.
Welcome back to another episode of the Progtalks. I'm your host, Dario. Before we dive in to our main topic today, as always, thanks for tuning in. And if you like what we're doing, don't forget to get us a little cup of coffee or tea. It really helps us out a lot, as well as likes and subscribes. You know the drill. But without further ado, you can already see him if you are watching on YouTube. Arjen Lucassen is calling from the Netherlands.
Yes. Hi, Dario.
I
have my cup of tea as well. So
wonderful. You got the Beatles.
Cool.
I got a selection of classical instruments.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Not only classical.
It goes together with Eleanor Rigby of the Beatles. So.
Yes. Wonderful. Arjen, you're back with us here at in the Progspace family. We had the pleasure to have you twice for our Q&A format with the last two Ayreon albums.
Right, yes.
And now it's time for Star One again. It's the third Star One in 20 years. Can you believe it?
It is. It's terrible. I don't want to think about it. I see my gray beard, so it must be true.
Well, when the first Star One came out, I didn't have a beard yet, and
whoa! By now you're ZZ Top, man. Cool.
I have to show you something quickly, just for fun.
Yeah.
Look, I made this like when I was 15 or 14 in school.
Oh, very cool. Very cool.
On my
that's
old
great.
backpack, and went to
that's cool.
school with
that's
it.
Cool. Yeah, we just got the stickers in. Let me see. Yeah, the stickers.
I think
it's upside down. It's upside down. Yeah. There you go.
It's such a brilliant logo, and I'm super happy that you're revisiting this particular project of yours.
Of course, yeah.
Because it's a very special one, and space metal from 2002. When I was a teenager, I was listening so much to it, and it's got like really nostalgic feelings about it.
Great.
Yeah. And but now we want to talk about Revel in Time, of course.
Yes.
By the time we're recording the interview right now, it's going to be like still around 2 weeks until it's out, right? But when you guys out there hear the episode, it is very, very close, or maybe already out. And this time you have picked another topic. I mean, we had space, of course, with space metal, and then we had the post-apocalyptic dystopian stuff with Victims of the Modern Age, and now you picked some time shenanigans, right?
Yes, manipulation of time. Yes,
and I think it is safe to say, or would you agree with me that Revel in Time is by far the most diverse album musically out of the three?
Yeah. No, that was the plan right from the beginning. Because I love space metal. I love the catchiness of space metal, the first album. But I think the sound could have been better. I don't like the sound of the drums too much. Then we had Victims of the Modern Age, which was a very dark album, and it was the sound was amazing. I love the sound, but somehow it was
weird. The first time. Sorry to interrupt you. It was I think it was the first time, if I remember correctly, that you also took another string on your guitar, or a guitar with more strings to have.
It was 7 strings, and it was 6 guitars on top of each other. It was huge, it was big, and of course it
bombastic and dark,
based on dystopian movies. But it was weird when I was putting together a live set for Ayreon. I wanted to play some Star One songs, And I looked at space metal, and it's like all these obvious tracks like Eye of Ra, Songs of the Ocean, Set Your Controls. It has standout tracks, and for some reason, Victims didn't have that. It was very strange. It was like, there's no standout track, which isn't a bad thing, but it's just, that album was really one big unity. That's what I would call a unity. So what I tried to do with this album was make a combination of the two. So I wanted to get the catchiness of the first one. I wanted to get the heaviness of Victims. And I wanted to make the most diverse one, as a contrast to Victims, which was basically one sound.
So did you decide that after you settled on the time manipulation theme, or did it come with the source material, this diversity?
Sort of at the same time, because if you do movies about time travel, you can do very diverse movies. That's the good songs. That's the good thing, because you have very positive movies like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, or Groundhog Day, or Back to the Future. But you also have very dark movies like Donnie Darko or The Terminator. So you can be more varied. If you do dystopias, you got that style. You can't be too versatile. So that just came together.
And then I guess it was a natural step to move away from the core ensemble that you had on the first two. Like speaking of singers mainly. Mm-hmm. And to also have a more diverse cast of singers, right?
Basically, that idea. Basically, that's because of COVID. Because I could always fly all the musicians, all the singers into my studio. And there was a lot of dialogue singing on the first two albums, like Floor, Dan, Russell, and Damien. They would sing all four of them in one song. And to be able to accomplish that, I have to have them in my studio. If there's dialogue singing, I have to be able to guide them directly. But that wasn't possible right now. I couldn't fly them in. So that's when I decided, let's not do dialogue singing. Let's do one song per singer. And I was like, okay, then we have 4 songs, but I have 11 songs. So let's invite other singers for the other tracks. And indeed, that helps the album to be more eclectic. So.
Well, there is one song with a sort of dialogue going on.
Right. But that's Mike's fault. he made I couldn't make that lyric. It's a song Prescient, and it was too complicated for me. It's my own song, but it had all these harmonies going, and I was like, Mike, can you do it for me? You're the only one in the world. And he said, he always says, okay, sure. And I said, well, do you have a favorite movie about time? And he said, yeah, it's a weird movie called Primer. It was made for just $6,000. And I saw it 10 times and I still don't understand it, but I'll write a lyric about it. So he wrote the lyric, but the lyric was 2 characters. And he was like, shall I sing both characters? And I was like, no. Let's get another singer there. So
was Ross Jennings his pick then, or did you pick him together?
My pick. No, it was my pick. Yeah. Okay. No, that was obvious for me. It's kind of a little bit of Haken, in Prescient, which goes back, I think, to Gentle Giant in the 70s, who had all these harmonies going and all these weird time signatures and stuff. And
it's a wonderful combination. They work very, very
it well works together. Really well together. Yeah. And Ross is such a great guy, and he really worked for it. And I just 5 minutes ago, I got a mail from him, very excited about everything, and great guy.
Wonderful. Yeah, we're already knee deep into all those new people that, Mike is an old face in the Ayreon universe, of course.
Right.
But with Ross, we're already touched on some new flesh.
Right. Yeah.
So well, you did these very, very funny teasing videos over the last couple of months on Facebook. And I think it was 31 artists teasing games.
I know, it's totally silly.
Including you, so let's say 30.
Including me. Yeah, I don't count.
Out of all of these guessing games, I think the one that was most caused most confusion was Britney. I had the feeling because a lot of people thought it was Mike, right?
They hear a high voice and they're like, "High voice, Mike," and then you get 2 or 3 people saying it, and then suddenly you got 30 people saying it. Yeah, it's Mike, until like number 41 is like, "Hey guys, this is not a guy, this is a girl." Wait, yeah, it was, and I'm laughing. I love the controversy. I was, the wronger the guesses are, the more I'm enjoying it.
I mean, another one that was a little bit close was, of course, JC Capers and Rust Allen, which also
yeah. Well, I left it till the last, which is totally evil, to leave Russell till the last. Everyone was waiting for him, and JC asked JC, "Would you want to be in the beginning or at the end?" He said, "I want to be at the end." So that wasn't an evil plan, but it was still cool. People were thinking like, "Oh, finally it's Russell," So everyone thinking it's Russell again till there's one person. "This is not Russell. Come on," And of course, JC was liking it all. He was seeing like, "This is Russell. This is you in London. This is, Glenn Hughes." They were shouting all these big names, and JC was like, "Yeah, cool." And he deserves it. He's such a great singer.
Yeah, he's also, of course, not that new in the Ayreon universe. He has worked with you a couple of times, including in live shows.
Right.
But I'm especially curious about the new faces and new voices that enter that had the opportunity of entering universe or the Star One universe. One that I hadn't heard before was Brandon Yeatley. And that song, it was it the last single now, or
it was the 4th single? Yeah.
Yes. It's such a fun track, and he's he's perfect in it.
I know.
At one point, I get a little some Hansi feelings from him, some Hansi vibes.
Always good.
I have to admit, I'm not too fond of Hansi's timbre. Hansi Kirchhoff, Blind Guardian, obviously, who also sang on Ayreon before. It's a personal taste somehow that I never really clicked the vibe with Hansi's voice. But even though he reminds me a little bit of Hansi, I really love the track because it's just so much fun and it fits perfectly.
Right. Yeah. Well, I was browsing the internet and YouTube, and I saw this clip, Low Life, the band Crowbot, which is with Brandon, and I was just, it was so funny, and it was this guy, with the sideburns, and he had humor and power, and I love that combination, So I saw that, and I knew I had to work with this guy, and I knew I had to work with this team who made the video. So they also made the Revel in Time video, and I also saw some live stuff of Crowbot and Brandon Yeatley. He was just as good live. He's an amazing singer. Also, I sent him the track, and I got it back within days, a few days, and he sent me all these options, and they were all brilliant. So yeah, he's a true star, this guy.
What was the title of the song again? Where you discovered him first? Low
Life.
Low Life. I gotta check that out.
You gotta check it. It's he's really a low life. It starts with he's stealing a lolly of a little kid. And it's full of little jokes, and it's hilarious. Yeah.
So who of the new faces, of the new voices, were you most excited to work with this time around?
Oh, it's every one of them. Yeah, I mean, my answer is predictable. If I wouldn't have been impressed, it wouldn't have made the album. So, well, yeah. To start with the album, we have Brittany Slays, of course, who sings "Fate of Man." Again, holy shit! I got her recordings, and it's scary for me. Usually I fly the singers in, and they're in my studio, and we could work on it together, and I know the result will be good. But now I have to wait. They will send it to me, and am I happy or not? Do I have to send them back 10 times? But with her, I got it, and it was like, oh shit! That's really, really high. That's top of the world. So, but it goes for everyone, really, for everyone. This album.
I think I remember at some point last year, probably someone shared her teasing post. I'm in the studio working some guest thing. I think someone shared it in the Ayreon Facebook group.
I know there was something, or she put something there, a mic or something, and saying there was something with Sci-Fi, and people already put it together. So yeah.
But that's also a great opportunity to talk about the second disc with the alternative versions, because especially Fate of Man, the alternative version is with Marcella Beauviau.
Yeah.
Right. And I love that version as well. She's got like a completely different voice with a more classical vibrato and all that stuff. And Brittany is like all in straight out metal.
Yeah.
This is so interesting to hear those different versions.
I agree.
Did you set out to make it like this, or did it happen along the way?
Well, Marcella's vocals are guide vocals. They're basically, because I couldn't fly the singers in, I had to make sure that the guide vocals were like amazing, really raise the bar for the eventual singer. So,
so for the whole second disc, for the whole bonus disc or alternative
basically,
versions,
Marcella sang the guide vocals for the girls. So she sang guide vocals for Fate of Man and guide vocals for Beyond the Edge of It All. And JC sang guide vocals for almost all the songs. But in the first place, I sang guide vocals for the guide vocalists. But that sounds terrible. There was only one song that was like, okay. And it made the album Today's Yesterday. But these were guide vocals, but I thought they were not guide vocals. They were too good to be called guide vocals, and they were good not to share with the world. So at some point I decided, well, let's release these vocals. And the moment I did that, I started adding other singers. There were a lot of singers that I really liked and that I still wanted to work with. So that's how I ended up with 2 CDs.
Yeah, it's been a while since you've really released an album that was not kind of.
There's always something weird.
I mean, lengthwise, like what was the last album that was really just one CD under 60 minutes?
Space Metal, I think. That had a bonus CD too. Victims had a bonus CD.
Ambient or Guild Machine.
Guild Machine was a single album. Yeah. No. It had a Blu-ray or a DVD with extra songs.
Right.
It had some cover songs on it. And,
so it is ambient.
Ambient but Ambient eventually was also released as a double CD because I had all these acoustic.
Yeah, I think I have the original.
Okay.
Release on CD.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's a good question. I think we have to go back to the 80s when I was still in my bands.
Vengeance
and Bodine. They never did double albums, so. There you go.
One fun fact, one of the first songs I covered with one of my bands when I was 15 was Arabia.
Oh, cool.
yeah, we've been talking about all these amazing guest vocalists. There's also, as always, a couple of amazing guest soloists with amazing guitar solos. For example, Steve Vai, who is about to bring out a new album himself as well, right? Is there anyone left on your wish list moving forward for your next adventures?
Always. And, there's still some of my old heroes I'd love to work with. And there's new guitar players surfacing all the time. But yeah, I mean, my top three would be Richie Blackmore, David Gilmour, and Steve Vai. So I had Steve Vai. So if I could Blackmore or Gilmour, that I would be happy, man. But chances are slim. I already asked Gilmour 20 years ago, and I interviewed him for a magazine, and I gave him a CD, and you could already see him watch the CD. Like, it's noise again. It's not his style.
It looks too metal. You should do another ambient album. Maybe he would be up for that.
Something like that. Yeah, something like that. Yeah. But no, there's still plenty of guitar players I'd want to work with for sure. Brian May is another one. So
I was thinking in general, not only guitar players, like in general, your wish list of artists to work with.
Singers too, you mean, or?
Yeah.
What? Yeah. Again, the legends, the people I listened to when I grew up. Ian Gillan, Robert Plant, Paul McCartney. I mean, if you have their phone number, let me know. And no, I mean, it's hard to get these guys, But I have a wish list of 200 people, so I still have plenty of work to do.
Moving on to the source material. Maybe I think the first before the artist guessing games, you did the movie guessing games, right?
Right. Yes. Yeah.
And growing up with space metal, the thought of Star One touching on material or stories that play that are set in our society, in our time, mostly felt a little bit weird at first when I saw you wrote a song about Donnie Darko or
Groundhog
Bill
Day.
and Ted or Groundhog Day, whatever. So was it a big change for you to like approaching the moods or so of the songs? Because before it was all like in space or it was really disturbing,
very sci-fi. Well, what I mainly did is I tried not to just tell the story of the movie. That's basically a little bit what I did on space metal. You had Russell Dan, Damien Florin. They played their parts, So if it was Star Trek, one played Spock, one played Kirk, one played Bones, I wanted to get away a little bit from that. I wanted to find out what is the message behind the movie and what is the director, what does he want to say with the movie. So even with a silly movie like Bill and Ted, it's like it's just having fun and for me it's like time is all we have. Time is really important. Let's make the most of it. Let's revel in time, and I think that's the message the movie wants to give us. But for a movie like Donnie Darko, of course, it's a lot deeper. It goes a lot deeper, and I really had to do my research. Oh shit. Something fell. I will. Really had to do my research there to find out what it's about. But there's so many layers in there, and it the movie ends and you still don't know much. It leaves you with questions, and I like that. So it wasn't particularly harder to write, and same with Groundhog Day, okay, a guy is stuck in a time loop. It's very funny. Bill Murray is hilarious, but what is it about, And eventually what they want to say, what gets him out of the loop is real love, it's being real. a bit, compared to Bill and Ted, be excellent to each other, It's so simple, but so effective.
If you are enjoying this interview, please head over to theprogspace.com for more reviews, articles, pictures and interviews all about progressive music. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. theprogspace.com.
Wonderful. So what's going to be the next Star One theme in 10 years from now?
I don't know. When they asked me those questions with space metal and with victims, I knew. I always said time travel. That's going to be the next one. But yeah, maybe horror. Maybe horror movies. I mean, I got so many horror movies, like Exorcist, like The Omen, The Thing. I didn't do The Thing. No, of course, no. There's so many horror movies. I mean, that used to be my favorite genre, when I grew up. So maybe horror movies. It would be weird because it has nothing to do with space or sci-fi, but. Yeah, that could be interesting.
My first thought would have been, like medieval fantasy worlds, like Lord of the Rings or something like that. But then again, I thought, okay, then it's basically almost Ayreon again.
That's true.
when you combine that with space.
Right. Yeah, then you get into the fantasy area. Yeah. You get. Yeah, no, it's true. That's an option as well. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot of cool stuff there to write about.
For like a couple of years ago, let's say before 2015, you it was a very rare thing to see you play live, and then suddenly there was the theater equation, which kind of sparked the further events with Ayreon Universe in 2017 and into the Electric Castle live and other tales in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
So what's next on the live front when we hopefully will be able to do these things again?
Mm-hmm.
Is it finally time for a space metal live show?
We did have plans. Like you say, the 2-year pattern was 15, 17, 19. So we had shows planned in 2021. And it was going to be an Ayreon album. I won't tell you which one because we're still planning to do it and we might change our minds. So I don't want to lie to you. But 2021, of course, we couldn't do it. So we moved it to 2022, which again doesn't look good now because we work on a show for a year, which means it has to be clear a year in advance, which it isn't. So now we moved it again to 2023. Like I said, it will be an Ayreon album, but of course we can, like on the previous 2 shows, we can always include Star One songs. I would love to include a song of the new album again, and maybe this time a song of Victims of the Modern Age. Maybe.
Which one would be your favorite? Your first pick?
It depends on whether we need like a fast song or a slow song. Hard to say. It also depends on which singers we have. So it would be hard to say. I would say the singles that I picked now would be my favorite tracks. But it's hard. It's so hard. If I look, I would have loved to do a clip for Year 41 as well with Jolene Turner. I would have loved to do a clip for Today's Yesterday with Dan Swayno. And I really don't know. It's hard to say. What would your suggestion be, or your favorite song?
I don't know. I think I have a very, very soft spot for Marcella's version of
cool
of the first song.
Fate of Man, yeah.
Fate of
yeah.
Man.
Well, that will be possible because Marcella will always be there, you know. She will always be there. So that's definitely a possibility. Yep.
And the one with Damien, the one with Damien Wilson, I got some Ayreon vibes from it. I think from Y. Yeah, that was cool as well. And I'm in a very, very Damien Wilson mood these days because
that's good. It's a good mood.
Just last week, Vivienne Laloux released an album, Paint the Sky, cool. And I love it so much. It's
fantastic. Yeah, I saw the video clip.
I think it's like for a full album, it's Damien's best performance since this masterpiece here.
Okay, cool, man, cool.
And this might be in my top, like Headspace. I Am Anonymous might be in my top 10 all-time faves.
Oh, brilliant!
Together with The Human Equation.
Cool. Yeah, I was thinking about doing a whole Guild Machine album with Damien because he did so great, you know, the last shows he did Twisted Coil, and he he totally won over the whole audience with that track. And when I was watching the TV, it was my favorite track, I think, of the whole show. Like it was on Universe, you know, with Damien with Druids Turn to Stone.
Druids, oh my God!
That was my favorite track there.
Just thinking about the Druids, major goosebumps.
I know. Yeah. And he didn't like the song at first. I remember sending it to him, and he was like, I don't know. I said, well, come over, Damien, and we'll make it work. And then he came over and totally made it his own. And it could have been the concept of Stonehenge, you know. You just had Spinal Tap, you know, making fun of Stonehenge. And there I am writing a song about Druids on Stonehenge, you know. So that could have been a reason for him to think like, really? Yeah.
Wonderful. The last couple of releases that you did, no matter if it was, I think already with, quite some releases back. You since then you were able to really like publish them, release them with like in lots of different versions with lots of different yearbooks or whatever, and different vinyl versions, and then you always had these bundles, and this time, wonderful. Oh my goodness, this artwork is so crazy. Wow.
The yearbook, and the real painting, of course, behind me.
That's a wonderful backdrop. This painting up there is actually also a Matthias Noren.
Oh, cool.
Is a Franticode.
Oh, cool.
From what was the name of the band was it was the Italian fusion band with Alessandro Bertoni on keys, who moved to LA then.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, Matthias made this, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic.
We were also talking like I was just yesterday we released the Progtalks episode with Vivienne Laloux, and we were also talking about this wonderful Matthias Noren logo. Vivienne Laloux.
Oh, it's so recognizable. You know, his style is so recognizable. Very cool. Yep.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the new one yet. But what I wanted to say, I mean, this time you also had like I almost said millions of different bundles and stuff.
Yeah.
And like most of them are already sold out again.
All of them, yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. A few days ago we heard it. Well, the signed ones. Yeah.
So thinking back to this this funny the time of this funny in the booklet of the re-release of Into the Electric Castle, where you all got all this you remember these rejection letters from the labels,
right, yeah.
Thinking back to that, like compared to that, like back then, should you ever imagine to get to this point?
Well, imagined? No, I didn't even imagine to make a second Ayreon album. So no, I dreamt about it, and because artwork was so important for me when I was a kid. It was, I bought so many albums because of the artwork and because the lyrics were in there. You come home and you listen to the music, and especially with vinyl in my days. So it's always been important for me. So now that I can do it myself, it's still just as important for me to spoil the fans. If they buy it, that they get it, and there's so much to see, and you could simply also stream it, but that would be such a shame. So
that would be boring. Like you don't have anything in your hand.
No, true.
And I mean, also like success-wise, like all these labels were stupid back then, right? Because they didn't see the potential.
Nay, at some point they did in the 70s. You got all these beautiful Hypnosis and Roger Dean covers, and fold out stuff, and then suddenly it started with CDs. It started to disappear, and it was a real shame.
And I meant the success of your music, like that people really want to hear your music. These rejection letters from the labels back then, they didn't see any potential in your music, and now they're probably biting their ass that they didn't sign.
Yes, and that's why I put it in. I understand them though. It was the 90s. It was the days of Nirvana, and and here I come, with my violins and flutes and stuff. I understand that the audience was invisible for my music. I didn't even know they existed. Really, the first Ayreon is called Final Experiment. That's what I thought it was. It's gonna be my final experiment. I never expected to make another one. I really didn't know there was an audience for it, and nobody did. So I can understand. If I would have had a record company, I wouldn't have signed me. No, probably not. I would have said, "Hey, man, I like it, and I'm going to listen to it in the evening, but I'm not going to put any money in this."
Yeah, and also the success of the live shows was just phenomenal. Just thinking about them, like people traveling from all over the world, and
it's incredible. I couldn't believe it.
Selling out the big venue, like 4 or 5 shows in a matter of 24 hours.
Yeah,
the whole weekend.
It's totally silly, and it makes me feel a bit guilty, because I just expect everyone to come to me, What's the expression again? That let the mountain come to Moses, or Moses, something with Moses and a mountain. I don't know. But anyway, it's truly amazing, and it's one big family. I remember I had to do that speech, and it's my biggest fear in the world. Speaking in public. And oh man, I got up there, trembling, and what am I going to say? I think the speech was 25 minutes or something. The whole band was, "Shut up, man! Come on, let's play a song." And it, because I just stood there and I saw one big family. I saw one big smile, and it's great to have built that up, in the last 25 years. It's a great feeling.
Absolutely, it's like I was so happy that I was able to travel to both the Universe and the Electric Castle shows.
Yeah.
Actually, like one last time, reminiscing about like growing up in my teens with Star One and Ayreon, back then, like it was my dream to do a festival with all these bands with the singers who were singing with Ayreon, and then have Ayreon be the headliner. Because all the singers are there already anyway.
Yeah. Of course we thought about it, but it's gonna be difficult. gonna be hard.
Yeah, first the world has to
That
kind
for
of
sure.
turn around again to be able to do small tours.
Right.
First,
Yeah.
and then we can think about massive.
Right. Yeah.
It's like,
but it would be
step by
cool to
step.
have like Dream Theater as a support band. That would be cool. That's a good plan.
Yeah, and it should be interesting to hear James LeBrie try on some of those the Human Equation songs live.
Yeah. Well, he did it, of course, in the Theater Equation. So,
yeah, that was like such an amazing performance of his on the studio album to begin with.
Right. Yeah.
In the like here in the digibook of Victims of the Modern Age, I found a funny little. I mean, you always put funny little things in the booklet, right?
Yeah, right. Mostly about my brother. Yeah.
This one is not about your brother, though. This is underneath Ed Warby's endorsements.
Oh yeah.
It says, Aaron would also like to put the name of your company here and get free stuff.
Get free shit, yeah.
Did you manage to get
No, man, I never get anything. It's terrible. No. Everyone always has sponsors and gets free guitars and free amps. And I never get anything. It's terrible.
we should start a petition.
I know. Yeah.
Which brand would be your first?
Anything, I take anything. If it's for free, I'll use it. No, it's not true. There have been there's even a company called Hot who specially made an Ayreon amp. Which I use a lot. So, and I get stuff a little bit cheaper and stuff like that, but it's not like drummers, they get all their cymbals for free if they break them. And no, it's not that way.
How many cymbals did Ed break during the...
Oh man, he hits so hard. You don't see it. When he sits there. Because he's very controlled. He's not like this, but he's controlled. But he hits so hard.
Yeah. Like
my God,
it's so smooth. Like his.
I know,
his
but it's
movement.
so powerful. And there's blood every time. Really, there's blood gushing from his fingers, and also because he doesn't practice. He just, hey, we have to record again, and then he didn't play for months, and he just sits behind his drums, turns on the motor. It goes, it's scary.
I remember, I think it must have been 2006, seeing him with the Gorefest on a huge metal festival here in the south of Germany. Yeah. And that back then I was not into any death metal or whatever. Maybe a little bit of Opeth, thanks to the Human Equation.
Oh, cool.
But of course I was checking out Opeth and this Soul Survivor, Gorefest.
Survivor, I think.
I think Soul Survivor. This album was a little bit more, death and rolly, and I quite liked it. And that's the sound live. Seeing Gorefest on such a huge festival, like it was one of the best drum sounds I've ever heard live.
I know, because he hits so hard. If I have to mix him, it's really easy. Usually you have these toms and you don't hear a tom, but with him it's and they're all the same volume, and it's great to mix his drums to make them sound good.
Wonderful. I can't wait to see him live playing again with whatever project it is, with whatever band or with whatever Ayreon related or Star One related project it is. I think it's really cool to see him being for years now the only other band member with you, right?
Yeah.
And in the last years, I guess Joost van den Broek has already also gained that status. As maybe as the third
I think so, yeah.
Official band member.
Definitely.
Could you say that? Would you say
yes,
that?
Yes, 100%. Because also behind the screens, Joost. Joost checks all my mixes and he gives me tips all the time and helps me with a lot of stuff. And this album he also mastered. And
I just wanted to say that. Yeah.
So he's behind the scenes. He's the most important guy for me. So he's a big help. Not just an amazing keyboard player. He can also play guitar. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, I think you managed to get by with your skills and put some decent stuff on your albums, right?
Yeah, if I have enough time in the studio and have enough studio tricks, and I can record it and just note for note, I'll get by. But don't ask me to do it live anymore. That's
wonderful. Arjen, thank you so much for taking the time. It was so wonderful to talk to you and to hear about all these fun times with Star One. Revel in Time is out on February 18th, right? On Inside Out Music.
Yes.
The as we just heard, all the signed box sets are bundles are sold out, but there's a lot of different versions you can still get and order, like vinyl and all these nice stuff and merch, of course. Go follow Ayreon on the socials. We're gonna put all the links as always in the description, and to keep up to date what's gonna be next in the Ayreon and Star One and in Ayreon world.
I'm gonna remix the Universal Migrator albums because they will be re-released on vinyl. So that will be a big job. I think I can make them sound better, those recordings. So
I'm very much looking forward to that. Maybe one last question: would you consider them as one album in the discography?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I should never have released them separately. I did that to please the fans. I thought, well, the proggies can buy Dream Sequencer, the metal dudes can buy Fly the Migrator, but most of them bought them both, and it looked like a sales trick. Now you have to buy two albums, and that wasn't good. So we already very quickly released it as one double album. So
I also have that
bundle. Right. Yeah.
So that means I counted the Ayreon albums and like counting this as one, and also the Final Fantasy also just as one and not the re-release, because it's like in the Prog archives it's listed as separate release. But that means that there are 9 Ayreon albums out by now. Is that correct?
I don't even know. It's also like Ayreon only. That's not really an Ayreon album.
That's probably I would say a compilation, maybe.
Right. Yeah, it's a compilation. Yeah, like same with Timeline. You got Final Experiment, Actual Fantasy, Electric Castle, Universal Migrator, Human Equation. Oh, I don't know the order.
Why?
Theory of Everything.
Why?
Theory of Everything. Why?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Why? Theory of Everything. Source. You're right. Yeah. 9. Yeah.
So
I didn't know.
on to the 10th then.
Oh
right?
yes, yeah, definitely.
Wonderful.
Cool, man.
Thank you guys out there for tuning in, and as always, thank you for your support and your loyalty, and we hope you like what we do. As always, the drill with liking, subscribing, commenting everywhere. Until next time. Take care and keep spreading that prog love.
The Prog Talks, produced by the Progspace. Main host, Rune Belsvik-Reynos. Produced by Rune Belsvik-Reynos, Vanessa and Matthias Kirsch. All graphics and animations by Vanessa Kirsch. Intro theme by Giuseppe Negri. Outro theme by Zach Munowitz. This was the Prog Talks by the Progspace. See you in a week.